I wanted to throw in here, who would be my dream client? Lady Gaga. Oh my gosh, I would want to photograph her so bad. So I have been messaging her for years to try to get her to do a shoot with me. And so far nothing. But you know, they say there's a 7 degrees of separation. So somebody in every 7th person that you know has a contact of somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. But anyway, so if you know somebody that knows Lady Gaga, let her know that I want to photograph her. So definitely my dream client. Oh my God, that would be so amazing. Like, definitely, I just adore her and would love to photograph her. Who would be your dream client? Drop it down below in the comments, guys.
The way you say my name just makes me tremble deep inside. I wanna feel your touch and get enough of your sweet.
Hi friends, today I am going to share with you an experience that I had photographing a celebrity and what that was like. So it was interesting, but I've actually been really lucky. I have photographed several celebrities that have been amazing, and actually the celebrity that I'm going to talk about today, it actually wasn't them that was a problem, it was other things. So we'll get into that in just a second. But I have photographed some pretty amazing people like Ashley Holmes, who is amazing. I've got to work with her a couple of times. I've also photographed David Titera, who was wonderful to work with. I actually did a few television series with him where I was the photographer, and I also shot on another national television show that I was the photographer. That was a lot of fun. It was for David Titera's show, it was My Fair Wedding, and the other one was Platinum Weddings, which was very interesting. So it wasn't boudoir related, but it was because I'm also a wedding photographer, so it was wedding related. And then I have shot boudoir for quite a few people that I cannot share who they are just because of non-disclosure agreements. I've also have photographed like beauty shoots. I've shot one for Christine Knoll, or actually a couple for her. She's gorgeous and so fun to photograph. And then I've had a few people that I just cannot tell you who they are because of non-disclosure agreements, which really suck. However, it's good and bad. I mean, it's good because you do make a little more money when you sign a non-disclosure, and people expect to pay you more when you have to sign a non-disclosure, just because they know that if they want to keep, well, and actually I would always keep their photos private anyway if they ask me to, because I do this for my regular clients. However, when it comes to a celebrity, you can have people contacting you from all different situations. Like one time I met Sarah Jessica Parker, and I just briefly met her in a restaurant, and I was so excited. I went on Facebook and I posted about it and getting to meet her and everything. Unfortunately, I didn't have a photo because I asked her if I could take a photo and she said no. And I was like, dang it, I really want to take a photo with you. But she was super polite and just said she didn't have a lot of makeup on and she didn't feel like, you know, having her photo taken, which I totally respected. So I didn't take a photo of her. However, I posted on Facebook and I just told my little story of meeting her, and then literally like instantly I started getting all kinds of messages from People Magazine, Esquire, like all these different like rag magazines wanting to know the full story, like who she was there with at the restaurant, because apparently at the time there were rumors of her and her husband being split, which I don't know who she was there with. I only saw her. She was actually getting her coat from the coat check. So that's where I saw her at. I was sitting at the bar and my husband nudged me and was like, isn't that girl that you really love? And I was like in girl shock, because I was like, oh my God, yes, it's Sarah Jessica Parker, Sex and the City. I've seen every episode. Like, I totally want to go and just like wrap my arms around her and hug her and kiss her, but that would be weird, so I'm not going to do that. But anyway, I did go over, got the courage up, went over and said hello, because I have such a huge girl crush on So anyway, let's get back to the story. So I had somebody contact me about doing a photo shoot for someone that I cannot name. But anyway, so I'm like, okay. So in the beginning, I really didn't know that they were a celebrity. I just knew somebody was contacting me for a photo shoot. So it all kind of, you know, rolled out to where I was going to be photographing somebody that I was really excited about. And I still am super excited that I got to photograph them. It's just a situation, how it unfolded wasn't the best experience. So this is what I'm going to tell you about it in hopes that it will help you when you have the chance to photograph somebody that is semi-famous, famous, celebrity, whatever they are, so you kind of know what protocols to put in place, because this taught me a lot. So I sent them my information. They talked about a non-disclosure, and I'm like, no problem. Like, I keep all of my clients' photos private. I have a privacy policy. It also mentions this in my contract, so you have nothing to worry about. Well, they were like, no, we need you to sign our non-disclosure. And I'm like, no problem. I've had this situation before. I'm happy to sign your non-disclosure. So they send it over. It's like 20 pages long. I'm like, okay, this is weird, but okay, you know, I'll read through it. And nothing really crazy in it, just like that I, you know, wouldn't sell the photos, that I wouldn't share any of the photos, that I would delete them immediately after, you know, providing product to the client, that, you know, that I wouldn't tell anybody about the shoot, that I wouldn't ever mention their name, and like a bunch of other things in it. Like, it was just mostly, you know, to protect their identity, which is totally fine. So I did this, and then so leading up to the shoot, I still did everything as normal. I sent them my beauty guide. I sent them emails about how to prepare, what to wear, all of the good stuff. Everything was perfectly fine. So basically their assistant was the one that I was in communication with. So they're the ones that I was sending everything to. So I just assumed that she sent everything I sent to her to the client, which apparently she did not. So I think she read it, and then what she felt like was important, she would share with them. So anyway, so the shoot comes, and I have hard guidelines about who can come to the shoot. And the shoot was in LA, which is, you know, a beautiful city, love it. So I do shoot all on location, and they were very particular about where the shoot would be, which was totally fine. So in my guidelines, I say that they can bring somebody with them, but that person cannot stay throughout the shoot, just because I shoot 360. So I shoot all around, and it's just really hard to move people out of the background. Well, I did have a suite, so I could shoot in another room and then have whoever was there move into a different room when I decided to shoot in that room. So I was like, okay, it would be fine, like if you bring, you know, one person or you know, more than one person, because they wanted to bring somebody else. Well, so it ended up that they brought 4 people, so their entourage, for their boudoir shoot. So I'm like, that's a lot of people, like it's very distracting. Well, it ended up being their hair and makeup people, so they didn't need my hair and makeup artist. But these people were so rowdy and so obnoxious. Like, I even wondered, like, are these really their hair and makeup artists? Like, or what? Like, what's going on here? Which they did do her hair and makeup, but it was just like really weird, like how they acted so entitled and so obnoxious and treated me like I was like the second class help, which was really weird. Like, I've never had anybody treat me that way at a photo shoot before. So I was a little bit offended, but I kept my cool. I was just like, okay, this is really weird for a photo shoot, and I've never had anybody like treat me so badly, especially hair and makeup artists. Like, you know, they're doing a job too, or that's at least how I felt, unless they felt like they were more friends of the client. I'm really not sure. But so I go start the shoot after like 2 hours of them fussing over her and like just, you know, making sure everything's perfect, all of that, which I try to be really patient because 2 hours is a really long time for hair and makeup in my book. Like normally my hair and makeup artist spends max an hour and a half, and that's if she needs extra time. Usually it's only about an hour. So I'm used to having really fast hair and makeup artists. So, and usually it's just one person and not 4 people. so it was kind of chaotic, and they were drinking champagne, and like I had some amenities, and of course it also was in a hotel room, so they took advantage of the hotel room amenities as well, like, you know, eating the snacks and all that, which actually are things that I have to pay for, which was not a big deal. I was kind of like, oh, well, it's a celebrity client, like she's paying a nice package, it's totally fine, they can have whatever they want. But it was just the way they acted that really turned me off. And then so we go into the shoot, I start the shoot with the client, we're in the other room and we're shooting, and they're being so loud and obnoxious and doing selfies, and there was a big balcony and they were like on the balcony and they're doing selfies and they're just like having a great time, which normally would be okay, but it was like really taking away from the experience for my client. And I felt like, you know, it was just too much for them to be in there and being like all crazy and obnoxious. So I ended up asking them to leave, which was not a good thing because they did not like that at all. So it was kind of a hot mess. They did not want to go. They were like insisting that they needed to be there for touch-ups, and which at this point they had done none of. All they did was be super rowdy, crank the music up really loud, and just be acting obnoxious in the other room where they were doing their own boudoir shoot of each other. So it just ended up being kind of a mess. So then I had to pull the client aside, which, you know, I didn't know what else to do. So I'm like, hey, you know, I really hate to ask you this, but can you ask them to go downstairs, maybe hang out at the bar, and just, you know, because I need this to be just you and I, so you can focus on the directions that I'm giving you and all of that. So she ended up asking them to leave, and I could tell she was not too happy about it either. But then, you know, we got into our groove and did the shoot, and everything turned out great. The photos were amazing. Everything went really well after that. So, and then when the entourage had to come back up to get their things, they were super mean to me and just obnoxious, and it was just overall like a bad experience with them and not so much with the, you know, celebrity client. She was so nice to me, and even afterwards emailed and apologized for how obnoxious her friends were. And she never referred to them as like her hair and makeup people. She always referred to them as her friends too. So it was just kind of a weird situation. So I didn't want to be like super mean back to them either. So what I've done since then is no matter who I'm photographing, I really do have hardcore rules about who can come to the shoot. I'm very clear with my pre-emails. I'm very clear when I email them right before the shoot. I have a little list of things that I send them, like last minute tips about everything, like parking, what they should wear to the shoot, that they should hydrate, they should eat the morning of their shoot, all of that good stuff. So I send them this right before their shoot. And in this, I also say you're allowed to bring one person, and that person can stay while you're getting your hair and makeup done. And if they, you know, after that, then they can either wait downstairs for you, they can go shopping, grab a coffee, do whatever, and then they can come back to meet you after your shoot is done. And this has been really helpful. I do have sometimes some people will say, well, I really want my friend to stay for the whole shoot. And I just explain to them that it kind of hinders the way that I shoot, and I want to give them the best experience possible. So it's better if there isn't somebody else there. This way it's just the two of us, and they're gonna feel more comfortable with that anyway overall. Because a lot of times when somebody does stay, and this is from the past, I used to let them bring a friend or two, and they would stay and be kind of a cheerleader for them. But then I really noticed a big difference in when somebody didn't have somebody there compared to when they did have somebody there. And even though people feel like they would be very comfortable with a friend being there, a lot of times what ends up happening is there's too many eyes on them, and then they always feel kind of like they have to see what that person is thinking of them, almost like, are they judging them, or they don't feel like they can let loose and be as sexy as they want to be because they have their friend there, and they may feel a little bit judged over that. So this is why I don't let somebody else stay as well. And plus the way that I shoot, I definitely shoot 360. If I have somebody else in the room, especially if it's just like a standard room and there's not multiple rooms, then there's no place for that person to go that they're not going to be in my way. So I would constantly be having to say, like, can you move? Can you move? So I just don't do that. You definitely want to establish some guidelines when you're doing your shoot with your clients, just to make sure that everything goes smoothly, because you never know what's going to happen. I've even had where I've had clients want their husband to come, and I've let this happen in the past where I did let a couple husbands come, and then I had one husband that it ended up being kind of a weird situation where he was telling his wife she wasn't being sexy enough for the shoot and everything, and I just ended up asking him to go down to the bar just because it was like he was obnoxious and not very nice to his wife, which later on I found out that they ended up not being together anymore anyway. But okay, that's probably TMI. Probably shouldn't tell you all that. Definitely set some guidelines for yourself and for your company when you're doing boudoir. No matter who the person is that is walking through your door, you should have some guidelines in place just so everything runs smoothly. Like, for me, I treat everybody the same. Like, I feel like my regular clients are my rock stars, and I tell them that all the time. Like, I want them to be a rock star for the day, and I'm gonna treat them like they're a rock star and a model and a celebrity all in themselves. So this is something that you should definitely take into consideration, like how you want to treat your clients and how you want the shoot to go. I am so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for continuing to watch my videos, and I really appreciate all my new subscribers as well. And I hope that you guys will follow me over on Instagram, and if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe down below, and I hope that you will hit that like button, because that makes more people be able to see my content, and it helps me create this content for you guys. So, and I'm hoping to create a lot more content for you in the future. I do have a couple really good videos coming up. I am going to do some more shoots on some lighting, different types of lighting, but easy stuff, because I know that some of the people that follow my channel don't have very much experience with lighting. So I just got a new light that I'm really excited that I'm going to share with you too. So I'm doing a video with that, a behind the scenes video. I think not next week, but the week after, I am doing a fun underwater session. So I also plan to film that to share with you guys. But I would love if you would drop a comment down below and tell me what you would love to see. Like, is there anything fun that you would like to see me do, or anything that you've seen that I've done in the past that you would like to see? Would you like to know how to get published? Would you like to know about any certain type of posing? Tell me. Like, I would love to hear some of the things that you would like to see on my channel, or even if it's not even boudoir related, tell me what you want to see, because I'm just curious. So if it's something that I can share with you. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in today, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye. So y'all are gonna think I'm a cat lady. I am a cat lady. This is my baby Savannah. She's so sweet. She's a little chubby bunny. She's kind of chubby. She's heavy. So my other kitty's a Maine Coon, and he's ginormous. And then Savannah is just like, she's like a little chubby bunny. Say hi. She's like, I went down. She doesn't. Oh, she looks so grumpy. Savannah. I'm gonna put her down before I get bit. So I have 3 cats and a dog. So, and a husband. You know, my man, Thomas. Okay, so that's it. See you later.